Hi folks, just wanted to make a quick video discussing the function of the DR and BDR in OSPF as well as how they're elected. Now the function of the DR is basically to reduce the number of LSA broadcasts that are being sent from each router. Instead of each router sending it to every other router, it just sends it to the DR in a broadcast OSPF network. And the BDR is just the backup designated router, and that does what it sounds like. It's if the DR goes down, then the BDR gets elected as the DR. Now, on the topic of DR and BDR elections, uh, the first thing it's going to look at is the priority on the router, the OSPF priority, and the default is going to be 1. That can be changed by going into the OSPF process ID, which I've already set up OSPF, but just to demonstrate the priority command here, it's simply just going to be priority and then the priority number. Now remember, the highest priority wins, so default being 1. If we set it to 2, and that means, if we set it to 2, then this router is going to be elected as the DR. Now, I'm also using GNS3 in this case because I found that Packet Tracer does not have this priority command. So just food for thought on that. So I had to break out GNS3 for this. But anyway, back to the election. So first it looks at, like I said, the priority. If the priority matches on all routers, it's just 1 by default. Then the next thing it's going to look at is the RID. Now the RID, the highest is going to win the election. So I've already configured the RID on all of these routers, and it's basically router 1 is 1.1.1.1, router 2 is 2.2.2.2, etc. So with that in mind, router 4 would have gotten elected as the DR, and then router 3 as the BDR. And that's because I set a loopback interface on these routers, so that way it would get set as the DR and BDR for the RID. Now, with that in mind, keeping in mind how the different ways you can assign an RID, first you can manually configure the RID using the router-id command when configuring the OSPF process. If you don't do that, you can do what I did in this lab, which is configure a loopback interface and set the address. Or if you don't do any of those things, the interface with the highest IP address gets assigned as the RID. So that's pretty much it, just kind of going over a few things, like I said, with the DR and BDR election. If you found this video useful, feel free to give it a like, and thank you for watching.